Welcome back, expert investors. So, we have some good news from the province for once. Okay, Ontario's 2022 rent increase guideline has been published. So far, and as you know, this could always change. So far, the rent increase guideline will be 1.2% for the year 2022. So as we all know, rent increases, for 2021 were frozen along with all court-enforced evictions because of the pandemic. Okay, now for 2022, rent increases are coming back online at 1.2%. So what does that mean for you, and what do we need to know? Let's cover this before we get into any more advice here. Okay, obviously the rent increase is calculated as a measure of inflation. We all know inflation is a hell of a lot more than 1.2%, but we're not going to go there right now. Okay, the guideline applies to most residential accommodations covered by the Residential Tenancies Act. Very important right here. Why can't I highlight here? Oh, here we go. This does not, and this is a good thing, it does not apply to rental units in buildings occupied for the first time, not built, occupied for the first time after November 15, 2018. Social housing units, long-term care homes, or commercial property. The social housing, long-term care, or commercial property, we already know that. However, many people are confused. So let me give you an example. Let's say you brought a brand new condo from a developer and it closed in 2020. Is your unit covered by the Residential Tenancies Act? No, it's not. Okay, for rent increases? No, it's not. You can raise or lower your rent as you please. The guidelines do not affect you. Let's say you have a single family home and you converted your basement into a new rental suite, and it was, as it says here, occupied for the first time after 2018. So in 2019, 2021. Are you covered? Does the guideline apply to you? No, it does not. If the main unit was occupied before, then yes, it would apply to you. But the basement, if it's brand new, does not apply to you, which means you can raise or lower your rent as much as you want. Okay? Now, as much as you want is a bit of a mind trick, if you want to call it that. Really, you can raise your rent as much as the market will bear. If you raise it too much, your tenant's going to be upset and you're going to cause a problem. You know, if you're looking for a new tenant, if you raise it too much above market rent, you're not going to get a good tenant. Simple as that. So the market forces will be your invisible barriers there, and it's up to you to know how far you can push. Okay? Topic for another day. The rent increase is the maximum most landlords can raise. Most landlords, I like that, can raise their rent without the approval of landlord tenant board. It is applicable to most rent increases between January 1 and December 31, 2022. Ontario has frozen rent for the vast majority of tenants in 21. To support renters, the 2021 rent increase guideline was set at 0%. This is true. We all know that. Rent increases are not automatic or mandatory. Landlords may only increase the rent if they gave tenants at least 90 days notice using the correct form. Okay, and there's a link to the correct form. This is actually very helpful for landlords. So I'm going to link this article in the video below. In most cases, the rent increase cannot be more than the rent increase guideline. In addition, at least 12 months must have been passed since the first day of tenancy or the last rent increase. So if the tenant just moved in 6 months ago, you can't give them a rent increase that comes into force after 6 or 8 or 9 months. If they've been in the unit for 9 months and you're giving them a rent increase that comes into effect at the 12-month and 1 day mark, that's okay. But they have to be there for at least a year to get a rent increase. Okay? If a tenant believes they have received an improper rent notice, they may file a dispute within 12 months. Okay? And there's some quick facts here. So one other thing, what's happening with the eviction ban? I don't know. If you know something, please tell me, because I'd like to know. I haven't heard any updates yet. I'm sure something is coming. I'm sure something was coming in the next few months. But when I hear it, I will let you know immediately. Until then, take this for good news, celebrate, have a drink for me. It's pass this around to all your investor friends because everybody needs to know and get prepared. So if you want your rent to increase January 1st, you have to serve it 90 days before, which means October, November, December. You need to serve it by September 30th. Okay? Pass it around to all your investor friends. Talk soon.